Hi, how are you?
Good. Okay. Your necklace is a little, if you want to pull it up.
We should have more signs, right? Oh, there he is.
Senator, good to see you.
Thank you so much for doing
Absolutely.
this.
Hi, Senator Whitehouse and Abigail.
Nice to see you again, Abigail. is on the lawsuit with me too. Nice to see you.
Guy.
Needs to be done. Hello,
Senator, Rob Whitehouse.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Senator. I'm Maya from Whitehouse.
Nice to see you, Maya.
We're going to have you actually stand right over next to Senator Durbin.
I will stand behind Senator Durbin.
Perfect. All right, and can I have my speakers just scooch in a little bit? Make sure we're all in the
Well,
shot.
how are you? Yes, yes.
There you go. All right, let's get some signs in the back. People with signs, if you want to take a little bit of a step forward, thank you, and make sure your signs are raised so that you can see them.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Heist.
Yes.
Heist.
No, that is
It seems like they could be here for anything. Yes, they are. They are here for our event.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
See, you weren't
I
even
did
listening.
not.
You were not even paying attention when I said, hey, it's girl, it is 10:15. Wake yourself up.
Oh, yeah. I think your signs.
know your signs up there. It makes sense.
All right, we're going to start in 2.
Great.
And I think we'll actually be the first press conference to ever start on time. So congratulations.
What? We're senators. We're not allowed to start on time. It's in the Constitution.
Unconstitutional
Yeah.
Certainly not in the...
Anticipation is building. That's it,
Well, it
right?
is. I was trying to see some of the comments that people have been making, yes?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'll be giving a 2, a 1, a no-minute warning, okay? Whether you listen to me, it's up to you, but...
And faith is no nonsense, so. And then I'll come tap on your shoulder gently.
Can we have, everybody kind of scoot in a little bit. They wouldn't let me bring the big pushes. Keep those signs high so we can see them. Thank you.
What's up, man? Good to see you. Hey, buddy.
Yes, go for it. Absolutely.
I can't believe this is so precisely timed. I don't know what we're doing. We're like going live?
You see this picture before this is
If there was any doubt that the corruption was actually had a Bill Schulte, the guy who did the mortgage investigations into Letitia James, is to do the NRA.
take Tulsi Gabbard's job.
Can't make this up.
Can't make it up. Can't make it up.
He's shown his affiliated guardians.
Good morning.
Good morning, Abigail.
Good morning. I'm Abigail from Common Cause, a nonpartisan watchdog with 1 million members in every congressional district. Common Cause was founded in the shadow of Watergate to demand honesty in government. Now we're here with elected officials, law enforcement, and business leaders to defend the same simple rule. Nobody is above the law, not even the president. President Trump sued his government, bullying the very people he oversees into handing him a $1.8 billion slush fund. This isn't just government waste. It's one of the biggest, most brazen acts of corruption in our history and an affront to every hardworking taxpayer. We're here today to applaud those members of Congress who are standing up for the people and urge all Congress members to block this corrupt deal. If the administration sneaks away with billions, it will create precedent for them to do it over and over again, and future administrations as well. Our coalition has already taken legal action and won a court freeze on these payouts. Yesterday, the White House grudgingly accepted that court order, but a temporary pause is not enough. Now we need Congress to finish the job with a permanent ban on any secret slush fund or tax ripoff. We're here today with Crew and other organizations fighting back because we know public pressure works. That's how we blocked Trump's original bid for $10 billion, and that's how we'll stop this latest heist. Thank you, and I'll turn now to our partners, starting with Senator Dick Durbin from the Senate Judiciary Committee.
Well, it's an honor to be with you today, to gather in the shadow of the Capitol, and for me to stand in the shadow of Harry Dunn. Thank you, too. I thank them especially because on January 6, 2021, when the violent mob descended on the Capitol, these men and hundreds like them risked their lives for me, for every member of Congress, and for everyone visiting the Capitol building. History is going to be rewritten if we're not careful and make that just a tourist visit to the Capitol that day, but those of us who were there certainly know better. And the notion that we are going to come up with a fund to provide some sort of a relief for the Capitol Hill police cop beaters is outrageous to me, to think that the Republican Party would even consider it. And that's why we're making every effort to make sure that there is a record vote against this slush fund. The notion that the people that beat up on our cops are going to get millions of dollars in relief is disgusting. It's un-American, and it should be rejected by both political parties summarily. Now, there's a lot of question in the news as to whether or not it's alive or well, whether the slush fund has been killed by a court. We want to make sure it is voted on directly by members of Congress and the Senate and the House. Go on the record and then go home and explain your vote. If you want to vote for giving these cop beaters a relief, then pay the price at home when you try to explain it to the people you work with. Now, I know this president is very busy with a lot of things going on. He's building a caged wrestling match arena on the lawn of the White House so he can celebrate the 250th anniversary of America. He's building a $1 billion ballroom, arches that are going to be a safety hazard for flights coming into National Airport, and God only knows what's next. But let's get down to the basics. The American people need a helping hand, and this slush fund, as outrageous as it is not going to help any family in America except those who don't deserve a penny.
Thank you. Now I'm honored to introduce Senator Whitehouse from the Senate Judiciary Committee as well.
Thank you, Abigail. I'm very happy to be here as Dick's wingman in this effort. Very grateful to Common Cause and Public Citizen and Democracy Forward and Crew for gathering us here together, and particularly grateful to the police officers who defended us on January 6th, who have stepped up to try to redress the Trumpsters' crooked cop beaters slush fund. So where are we? Well, first, the crooked Trumpsters came up with the corrupt idea of a cop beaters slush fund. And turned out it was not only despicable, but it was despised. Republicans and Democrats alike think it is disgusting. And so there's real pressure now. And indeed, the Trumpsters are starting to say that they might have to abandon their cop beaters slush fund. Well, we'll see. Maybe, but that still leaves the Trump family and business crooked tax amnesty deal. Right. That has to go too if this is going to be cleaned up for once and for all. And even if they get rid of the crooked cop beaters slush fund, and even if they get rid of the crooked Trump family tax amnesty, that still leaves one other very interesting thing. And that is the question of whether the crooked Trumpsters committed a fraud on the court in federal court in Florida, a matter that is now being investigated by the federal judge. The Trumpsters have until June 12th to answer the allegations of 35 retired federal judges that, let me quote some of what they said. The court was deceived. The settlement is a product of collusion and is itself a fraud upon the court. Corruption of the judicial process is exactly what happened here. They went on to say that it was an unprecedentedly fraudulent scheme that used the proceedings before this court as a legal pretext, raising profound questions about the parties' candor toward the court. Faced with those allegations, what did the court do? The court said they were grievous, and they opened an inquiry, and they flagged the IRS memo offering ways to challenge the settlement, and they flagged potential violations of DOJ policy. So there is more to come with this question of the crooked schemes to provide the cop beater slush fund and the Trump family tax amnesty came through a fraud on the court. That needs to be fully investigated. If the pleading from the administration is not determinatively conclusive that everything was okay, then the likely next step is the appointment of a special counsel or a special master to dig into those rotten facts. And I will just remind everybody, since Abigail mentioned Watergate at the beginning, Watergate was just a break-in. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Whitehouse. I'm now pleased to turn it to our partner in this, Rob Weissman from Public Citizen.
Thanks, Abigail. When the most corrupt administration in American history creates the most corrupt deal in American history and then says, through unnamed sources, oh, never mind, it's common sense to say, that ain't enough. Or if they say, we will abide by the order of a court to delay action on the slush fund for a matter of weeks, forgive us for not appreciating their willingness to follow the order of the court. I want to say three quick things before handing it back. First, we at Public Citizen have filed one of many lawsuits on this case representing Allison Gill, known as the podcaster Mueller, She Wrote. We have absolutely no intention of ending that case, as I'm sure none of the other clients and legal organizations do, based on these silly statements from the administration that it's backing down without actually doing anything to rescind the fund. Second, it is illegal for anyone to ask agents or officers of the Internal Revenue Service to end or begin tax audits or investigations. And if anyone inside the IRS receives such a request, they are required on threat of criminal penalty to report that request to the Inspector General. We've written to Todd Blanche and the head of the IRS. They need to warn their IRS officers that they're in legal jeopardy if they act on the corrupt tax deal. By the way, underscoring how corrupt that is not a settlement of any live issue that Trump raised. He's complaining about the leak of his tax returns. This is about escaping payment for taxes from prior years and including this year when he's made billions of dollars through other corrupt activities. And the last thing is this. There is one way to be certain that this slush fund is shut down, and it's not a promise from the Trump administration. It's for Congress to act. Congress can vote, use its appropriation power, and say not a dollar is going to be spent on this slush fund. And because this administration is insisting on trying to ram through a reconciliation bill to fund needlessly and dangerously ICE even more, we're going to have the opportunity for that vote to happen again and again and again. And members of Congress are going to have to make a choice, either to do what they know is the right thing or stand by their cult leader. And we'll see what happens. But either way, the American people are going to know what's going to happen. The momentum against this deal is going to continue, and eventually it is going to be shut down.
Thank you, Rob. I'll turn now to Officer Harry Dunn, former Capitol Police Officer.
Good morning. Thank you, everybody. I got bent down a little bit. So, thank you for acknowledging me, but I have to acknowledge all of my coworkers, former, past, present, that are still on duty. Many of them here. A lot of y'all recognize me, but it was several officers that took the brunt of that day and are still carrying it with them, even almost 5.5 years later. Returning to the scene of the crime. This is crazy. Like, this slush fund sounds like it's set up for an SNL skit, but it's real life. Get paid, beat cops. Support Donald Trump, get paid. Cause an insurrection, get paid. I believe that this is Donald Trump putting his mob on a retainer.
Yep.
You know, we all saw what happened on January 6th. You don't need me or Daniel Hodges or any political pundit or elected official to tell you. We watched it. We watched it in real time, and everybody saw what happened that day. And the fact that Donald Trump wants to pay these people, reward them, it continues to put our lives in danger. A lot of y'all know the things that we go through. Y'all see us on the news, the TV, but y'all don't see the death threats that we get, the confrontations that we get in public, the battles with the Republicans in Congress right now. And yes, I am so glad for these senators right now taking up this stance right now to make sure all of them are on the record about where they stand. But they don't want to be on the record, honestly. They wish they didn't have to go against Donald Trump publicly. They don't have a spine to do it. And it's really unfortunate. So that's why I'm thankful for these senators right now, forcing them to be on the record about where they stand, to make them go home and explain it to their constituents in their district. This is taxpayer money. This isn't a GoFundMe. This isn't a fundraiser setup that people can donate to them. This is taxpayer money. And last time I checked, Congress controls the purse, not the president. Thank you.
Thank you, Officer Dunn, and also Officer Hodges for your service on January 6th and beyond. I'll turn now to Lauren Ballor from Main Street Alliance. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. Officer Dunn definitely just set the momentum, so I'm going to follow that back up like a pastor in a church. My name is Lauren Ballor, and I am the National Director of Policy and Programs representing 30,000 small business members of ours. Over the last several weeks, we have seen growing concern and scrutiny surrounding the Trump administration's so-called slush fund and the effort to redirect billions of taxpayer dollars through a process that raised serious questions about transparency, oversight, and accountability. The Department of Justice decision to temporarily pause the fund is an important development. It demonstrates that public pressure, legal action, and broad-based advocacy can have an impact. But a temporary pause is not the end of the story. And representing small business owners, we know about telling stories. It is a reminder that continued vigilance and accountability are still needed. What has made this moment so powerful is that people across the country recognize what was at stake. This was never simply about a legal dispute in Washington, and we all know that. It was about taxpayer dollars, money contributed by hard-working Americans and small businesses in every community across the country. As our board chair, David, recently shared in a public statement and a video on this matter, there are 6.1 million small businesses across America paying roughly $50 billion in federal income taxes every year. These numbers shared represent entrepreneurs who create jobs, serve their communities, and help drive local economies. They understand the value of every dollar because they work every day to earn it. It's not given to them like some others. And they expect those tax dollars to be managed responsibly and invested in ways that strengthen communities, not diverted through programs for personal gain. That is why the response from small business owners was so significant. In the span of just 1 week, more than 150 Main Street Alliance members came together to sign a call to action opposing this effort and demanding accountability. Their message was clear: taxpayer dollars belong to the American people and should be used to serve the public interest, not redirected through mechanisms that undermine trust and public oversight. These stories, as I've shared, have been critical to building accountability. They have helped connect to complicated legal and policy issues to the real-world impact felt by taxpayers, workers, and entrepreneurs. So I say all this to say the progress we have seen is encouraging, but there is more work ahead. The coalition's efforts have helped shine a light on this issue and create meaningful accountability. Now we must continue building on that momentum until we have confidence that taxpayer dollars are being used responsibly and in service to the American people. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. I'll turn now to John Koskinen, former commissioner of the IRS.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here. I'm John Koskinen. I served as IRS commissioner from 2013 to 2017. During that time, I had the pleasure of working with representatives of both parties to ensure that the tax laws are applied fairly and equally to everyone. The president's suit against the IRS had many failings beyond the basic question of whether there was actually two parties to the dispute. The case was filed after the statute of limitations had run and was filed against the wrong party, at least according to the position taken by the Department of Justice in earlier similar cases. And if their position was the president should have sued Booz Allen and Mr. Littlejohn, who stole the tax returns in question. The proposed settlement includes the previously unheard of promise to a set of taxpayers that the government, including the IRS, will not make any further review of their tax returns filed as the date of the proposed settlement. I understand there were open audits that, as a result, would be closed with a potential loss to the government of significant funds. As you've heard, the Florida court has reopened the case and directed both the President and the Department of Justice to file briefs by June 12th to explain, quote, charges of collusion and whether the parties are truly adverse, unquote, as well as, quote, whether the case should be reopened because the court was the victim of a fraud, unquote. Ultimately, taxpayers do have a right to assume that all filers are treated fairly and equally. The proposed settlement sends the regrettable and unprecedented signal that powerful people like the president and his family can arrange to avoid having their tax returns reviewed at all. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And we'll turn finally to Skye Perryman, CEO of Democracy Forward.
Good morning. My name is Skye Perryman. I'm the CEO of Democracy Forward. We are so honored to represent the brave plaintiffs who have sued and have stopped for now the slush fund as a result of a federal court order we obtained on Friday, and that includes plaintiffs Common Cause and so many others. We are honored to also have represented the former IRS commissioner as well as other commissioners in the Florida court explaining why this lawsuit that Trump filed was fraudulent. And we are so grateful to be in the presence of senators who are standing up for the rights of people and against corruption, as well as for the Capitol Police officers who have also filed a lawsuit to challenge this corruption. Today I want to talk about leadership. The minute that this fund was announced, we said, as well as the people behind me said, that the American people were going to stop this fund. That if people in power wouldn't step up, the people would. And that is what has happened so far with the federal court order that has been secured. And that is what we need to see, that leadership that we have seen from ordinary people across the country. That is what we need to see from members of the president's own party who continue to slow and not really step up and fully demand that this fund be eviscerated and that it never happen again. We need to see the leadership that the people are showing now from the powerful, and I think we will see that in the coming days. I also wanted to speak to the pending litigation that is happening right now in the Eastern District of Virginia. You saw by tweet the Department of Justice came out yesterday and said that it intends to comply with the court order. We are in the position of trusting but verifying, and so have demanded that DOJ send us a response today asking them to confirm that they have taken a number of steps to comply with that order, and we will look forward to reporting back to you all and to the American people what DOJ's response is. We have also asked them to confirm what the status of the fund is, since they seem to be leaking that they are somehow abandoning the fund, but we've not seen any real evidence of that. What we are calling on today is for leadership. We are calling on Congress to do its job, and that does include members of the president's own party that appear to continue to not fully fully oppose this fund and to not fully take steps to support and protect the American people. In the absence of that leadership, our commitment to everyone is that we will continue to represent the people in courts and communities across this country, and we will protect their rights. Thank you.
Thank you, Sky, and everyone for being here. We'll now take some questions from the press. I'll be joined by Rob, and feel free to direct your questions to any of the people who have spoken and introduce yourself with your outlet. Any questions from the press? Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Michael McInerney from CQ. This is a question for the senators. With the White House apparently trying to back off of the fund, do you think that sort of takes the wind out of the bipartisan concerns that were raised about the fund last, 2 weeks ago?
What is the current status of the Iran war?
Sorry?
Do you know the current status of the war in Iran?
Ongoing, I assume.
You're forgiven, because I don't either. Because the White House changes the story about every 4 hours. We want to make sure that this idea, this slush fund idea, is nailed in a coffin, buried once and for all. So there's no trust in the fact that they issue a tweet, as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Harry.
Good to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.